from the beginning, from this quick beginning, we're to be reminded of this adversarial force. We're to be reminded and recognize the ways in which Jesus comes up against it. Jesus' pronouncement that the kingdom has come near in our anchor verse, it's not just this proclamation, it also sparks action. Jesus immediately begins to engage with and set right things that are not right. From the beginning, he casts out unclean spirits. He heals people from diseases. He includes those that are excluded. In Mark, we see a Jesus who is not pleased that people are in bondage. We see a Jesus who is not pleased that people are subject to illness, that people are not able to thrive, that they're not able to live fully into the kind of life that God intends. And as an agent of the kingdom, he begins to do something about it. Jesus' actions, Jesus' ministry is pushing back against Satan's kingdom. And this begins to disrupt things. Jesus is seen as a disruptor. And that brings us to our text today. Today we can see the reactions of people around Jesus to this kingdom disruption, to these divine disruptions. So Jesus is back in his hometown. He's causing chaos by drawing a big crowd. They've all heard about his miracles, they've heard about his teachings, and they're surrounding him so much so that the text says that he could not eat. In verse 21, when his family heard about the crowd, they went out to restrain him, for people were saying he has gone out of his mind. So first we see his family's reaction. His family's reaction to Jesus being back home and drawing this crowd was to assume insanity. Jesus was not only disrupting the town by drawing crowds, he was also functioning outside of the familial and societal expectations that his family would have held him to. And they assume that he's lost his mind. The religious leaders, named here in our passage today as the scribes, also react to Jesus here. And they just go straight for it. They directly accuse Jesus of being associated with Satan in verse 22. And the scribes who came down from Jerusalem said, he has Beelzebul, and by the ruler of demons, he casts out demons. I think it's important to note here that the religious leaders are not questioning Jesus' ability. They're not accusing him of being fake or of sorcery or some kind of trickery. At this point, they've been witnesses to his healings. They've seen him cast out demons. They know that he can do it. They can't deny Jesus' power, so instead they try to undermine it by accusing him of working by the power of the adversary. And in a way, honestly, this also might be what Jesus' family is doing too, because insanity or mental illness were often associated in that time with demon possession. See this attempt to associate Jesus with the opposing kingdom. And Jesus' ministry is disruptive. It's revolutionary. It's a shock to the system. When God's kingdom comes up against the kingdom of the adversary, there is conflict. There's disruption, there's interruption, and there's going to be a reaction. The scribes try to undermine Jesus. His own family tries to restrain him. The Greek word that's used here could also be translated as seize, arrest, or apprehend. His family is trying to apprehend him. It's like they're saying, for the sake of familial and religious order, this Jesus who is causing disruption should be restrained and detained. The disruption to the system is too much. We should rein it in. It needs to be domesticated. And there's a question here for us. Where do we try to undermine the gospel? How do we try to domesticate it? How do we try to make it fit within our societal, our familial, our religious norms? Where does the status quo work for us? Or even more, where does it work in our favor? Jesus has not come to uphold the current order, but in fact, he's come to free us from it.